A woman's husband finally returned after 3 long years, but he was carried out of a car on a stretcher. Though she forced a smile in front of others, her heart was breaking. She tried to comfort her husband, hoping her gentle words could bring him a little warmth. But when he told her that he had lost all his abilities as a man, Connie froze on the spot. She swallowed her pain, comforted him, and promised she would never leave him for the rest of her life. But inside, her husband felt a sharp sting. He deliberately sent her out of the room, then pulled out a gun and aimed it at himself, hoping to free her by ending his own life. Fortunately, Connie discovered it in time and stopped the tragedy. She held him tightly as Chatterley collapsed to the floor, crying in agony. He couldn't tell whether her devotion came from love or pity. With Connie's patient care, Chatterley finally emerged from the darkness. Every time she saw his warm, familiar smile return, Connie felt a deep sense of relief and happiness. But the primal desires buried deep in her soul had no way to be released, becoming a silent torment she dared not speak of. Chatterley understood her suffering. Every day, he endured unbearable physical pain and the doctor's excruciating electric therapy, but he never thought of giving up. Yet Connie, waiting outside the room, could no longer bear to see him suffer. She rushed in and demanded the treatment stop, refusing to let her husband endure any more torture.
It's our great sorrow, the absence of a child.
It's my fault, this yearning I've stirred up in you. Or my vain fault in raising the subject of siring an heir.
Not your fault at all.
Chatterley wanted to make up for everything he owed his wife, so he planned an elegant dinner party and even invited Connie's first love, hoping to awaken the deepest desires in her heart. As Connie and her old lover moved across the dance floor, Chatterley's eyes revealed a deep, quiet sorrow, and he slowly turned and walked away. But Connie quickly realized what her husband was trying to do, and anger surged through her. They ended up having a fierce argument.
I mean only that the man doesn't matter, only the creation of our child.
You appall me that you humiliate me thus!
I fall upon my belly, Lady Chatterley, to avert my eyes, while under my own roof another man will perform on my wife the act God has stolen from me. The humiliation is mine. I must have an heir!
That choice created a strange tension between them. Connie fell into deep conflict. She wanted to fulfill her husband's wish to have a child, but she couldn't betray her own feelings. During a walk with her husband one day, Connie's life took an unexpected turn. They ran into the newly appointed gamekeeper, Carl. He spoke very little, and his eyes carried a distant, unreadable coldness. Something about him quietly stirred Connie's heart. The next day, she used returning a key as an excuse to learn more about him. But Carl didn't welcome her visit. He wanted to avoid any unnecessary misunderstanding. His sudden coldness sent ripples through Connie's emotions, and she turned to leave. That afternoon, she received an apology letter from Carl. As she pictured him walking away, his image became even clearer in her mind. Connie arrived at the forest cabin, unable to resist the pull that drew her there, dressed in her beautifully embroidered suit. By chance, she caught sight of Carl's strong, bare torso, and her heartbeat surged instantly. Before she had time to savor the moment, a dog noticed her presence, forcing her to pretend she was merely out for a walk to hide her flustered thoughts. Seeing her, Carl quickly put on his clothes and carefully kept his distance. But Connie couldn't help teasing him.
You have a very low opinion of me, that I'd have you dismissed over a trifle.
No men suffer fates far worse for as little.
Really, your insolence appears so generalized, one chooses not to take it personally.
His silent, stoic response made a faint look of disappointment flicker in her eyes. Irritated, she stood up and prepared to leave, but a sudden downpour blocked her way home. With no other choice, and with Carl's reluctant permission, she stepped inside the cabin to take shelter. As she removed her wet outer coat, her graceful figure revealed itself before Carl. Yet he did not lose his composure. Instead, he picked up a piece of cloth and placed it between them, blocking his view.
Why are you embarrassed?
I ain't. Please, my lady, if it became known we were here like this together, I'd lose more than my job.
His simple words snapped Connie out of her trance and made her understand his restraint and helplessness. When the rain finally stopped, she quietly left the cabin. But from that day on, her heart never returned to calm. In the stillness of each night, her gaze would always drift toward the faint glow shining from the cabin deep in the woods. Connie began slipping into the woods more and more often. When she saw Carl repairing a fence, her interest was immediately piqued. She watched the lively little chicks with childlike curiosity. Noticing her fascination, Carl opened the coop and gently placed a chick into her hands. Their fingers brushed for a brief, accidental moment, sending ripples through both of their hearts. Seeing Connie's soft and tender expression,
Reckon he's took you for his mother.
and she lowered her head, choking back tears. In that instant, a wave of pity and affection surged through Carl. He stepped forward and wrapped her carefully in his arms. In that warm refuge, Connie felt a sense of belonging she had never known before. When their eyes finally met, the unspoken longing between two lonely souls became undeniable. Inside that worn, quiet cabin, the air slowly grew heated and electric. By evening, beneath the shadowed trees, they shared a silent farewell, their gazes carrying 1,000 unspoken words. Connie could no longer restrain herself. Night after night, she secretly slipped back into that secluded forest cabin. But everything she did was clearly seen by the family's maid.